Welcome to the Books for Athletes podcast with your host, the publisher, Mr. Kelly Cole. Mr. Cole, a former athlete and best-selling author himself, has set out to take you behind the scenes of some of sports' forgotten heroes. He sits down with former professional athletes, college athletes, and sports coaches as they share stories of triumph, defeat, dedication, and perseverance. Here's Kelly.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Books for Athletes podcast. Today, I got a special guest, another one of our amazing best-selling authors. Congratulations. First of all, I should say that. Congratulations, hitting number one on the bestsellers list. But I got my main man, Tony Dixon, a.k.a. TD. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Good to be here. Good to be here. Excited to be here, man. So looking forward to the conversation.
For sure, man. Thank you so much for, taking the time out to do it and talk about your book, man.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, beyond the glass,
Yeah.
a life of purpose and impact, man. It's pretty amazing. You know, we released this thing early October.
Yep.
And man, just the response that I'm getting from people, young and old, different walks of life. The number of people that's purchased it. I've had a chance to have a couple book signings since, man, and I think the word that I hear from everyone is just saying, hey, powerful, and then with others just saying, hey, thank you for writing this and being vulnerable in the book. So I'm loving that part about it.
For sure, man. I love that it's not surface.
Yeah.
You actually go deep. And like you said, you're vulnerable. And it's not many men who do that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think Kelly, I think it's not a think. I know that is why this was the right time, and that's why it was done this way. I mean, even if you look at the cover, the cover is telling within itself, in terms of beyond the glass, right? Just metaphorically speaking, what that represents, if you never even know what the content of the book is about.
Yeah.
But I think what's also telling about it is the aspect of I'm not around the glass. So, it really speaks visually to a representation of that. Hey, I'm still evolving.
Yeah.
I'm still evolving into the man, that I want to be, hope to be. But in that recognition, I realized that, while I did not see it before, that, man, you have had a life of impact. You have had a life of purpose. So what I hope the readers take from it is, no matter where they are in their walk of life, that they take away the moment to reflect back on their life. Like, use my defining moments that I talk about in this book.
Yeah.
While they may not relate to you specifically,
Yep.
but what are your defining moments in life? And what have you overcome to get beyond the glass? And if that's what happens as people read through these pages, man, I'm happy.
That's good, man. All right, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to growing up in Reform, Alabama. What was that like growing up there in that small town?
Hey, man, Reform, Alabama is population less than 2,000. So, I haven't met too many people that have that dynamic. You're talking about graduating with less than 30 people. Everybody knows your name, right? It's good and bad, right? The good is you truly have a village, and especially growing up when I grew up, it still was the time where everybody looked after each other, where every parent had the right to talk to you and coach you up and whoop you if they needed to. So I had all of that, right?
Right.
And then it was the same with teachers, right? So the good of it is you have that community. The negative of it is sometimes you do have a mental glass ceiling in terms of what you think you can achieve, right? And even as success started growing for me, over time, the young Tony was searching for an identity. The older Tony, as he started to have success, started getting hit with pressures that he didn't know how to handle. And because nobody really walked in those steps before, I didn't have mentors to really guide me either. So it actually put me in a position where, I start retreating backwards in terms of, instead of leaning into the success and leaning into the confidence, I actually use it as a way to dim my light and not lean into it and really market myself, because in that small town there was a delicate balance between confidence and arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never want to be the person that was perceived to be overly arrogant, because humility is what gets you further. And then for a big part of my life, even as success and accolades started coming to me, I started realizing that, hey, you're better to silence yourself than to speak up for yourself, in growing up. So yeah, that's the negative of growing up in that situation.
Wow. Yeah, so how did you get found in that small town? Like how did you get found far as like on the football field and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. I really feel like going to football camp, the summer before my junior year, is actually what helped me out. So I went to the University of Alabama camp, the summer before my junior year, and performed very well, man. Ran a 4.5 at the camp. At this point, I'm going to my junior year. Agility was really top notch. And you talking about someone who played three sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball. I was, let me be clear, I was a participant in basketball. I wasn't a sharpshooter. So I was a Draymond Green of my basketball team,
Got it.
that I could guard the best player, defend very well and set my teammates up. But baseball was really my best sport. But
Wow.
small town, I didn't lean into that much either. But had I not went to that football camp, I don't think I would have been noticed, because it was at that time where the Alabama coach was like, "Yo, who are you? And where are you from?" And I'll never forget saying I'm from Reform, Alabama, and they was like, "Reform? Where's we from?" I'm like 40 minutes west. I was like, "You go right through Reform to go to Mississippi State, every year, to whenever you're playing them." And so I was 40 minutes away from the campus of University of Alabama, and they didn't even know where Reform, Alabama was.
Wow. Wow. So did you choose Alabama because it was just the home team or what made you choose them?
It's a story behind that. Like, honestly, I would tell you that my interest was really to go to Stanford out in California.
Okay, break that down.
So I was going down through that process because I was a student athlete. I was truly big on student peace, and I saw Stanford as an opportunity to really do something different, get away from home, go to California. My mom wasn't having that though, man. Mom was like, "No, you're not going there." Auburn was on the table, but I would tell you, the mom's heart of heart, she wanted me at Alabama. The first football college game I ever went to, was actually at Troy State, which is Troy University now. But the first D1 school that I went to was Alabama. So I would tell you that in the heart of hearts, I wanted to be there, but Alabama wasn't doing well then. If you go back and track the times I was there from 97 to through 2000,
Yeah.
that was the rebuild years for Alabama. So the hot teams were Florida, Florida State,
Mm.
Tennessee,
Yeah.
LSU even, that had Herb Tyler at quarterback, and nice running back down there. So I was thinking outside of Alabama because Alabama wasn't performing well, right? Matter of fact, was on sanctions at that time, on probation. So
Wow.
my 97 class was the first full scholarship signing class they had since, I think, 95,
Wow.
when I went to Alabama.
Wow. And your mom made you go pretty much.
Yeah,
Like,
she pretty much just, told me that's what you're doing. So at the end of the day, if, I can say it all I want to, that, yeah, it was in my heart of hearts. And while it was, hey, who wouldn't want to go to the University of Alabama with the history, the storied tradition and history that they have?
Yo, what up? It's your girl JC, and listen, I have to send a special shout out to my guy, Mr. Kelly Cole, and the entire team at Publishing Advantage Group and Books for Athletes. They took so great care of me to the point that I know I'm the pickiest person. This book was supposed to have been finished last summer. However, there were some details that I needed to make sure that the book had because my audience needed it. And, you know, when it comes down to feeding and serving the people, especially as a former athlete and telling your story, you know you cannot be selfish with the material and give it away. And they worked with me from the time of my thought process to the time of conception, all the way down to now, top 20 hot release best-selling author on Amazon in 24 hours. Listen, if you're an athlete, you have a story to tell, and you don't know how to put it in book form just yet, don't worry, you're not alone, okay? Hit my guy, Mr. Kelly Cole, and tell him what you're trying to do, and I promise you he gonna get you right, all right? And of course, check me out on Amazon after the season. Shout out to the Books for Athletes family.
So don't get me wrong. I definitely was honored and still felt great about going there. But I was a bandwagon person at that time. And bandwagon, if Florida State would have knocked on my door, it would have been very hard for me not to go to Florida State. I'm just saying.
So they didn't even, Florida State didn't offer you, but if they did, you was out.
The crazy part, and the recruiting coordinator that was at Florida State during that time ended up being a coach at Alabama.
Wow.
He came, I want to say my junior year was his first year. I asked him, I was like, yo, y'all didn't even offer me, man. And you know what he came back and said? He was like, man, you was in the back door of Alabama. We weren't gonna waste our time. I was like, you missed an opportunity, man, because I would have been there. I would have been there. I would have had to fight Mama for that one.
Wow. I dig that. I dig that. So you wasn't even a fan. You was a Florida State guy.
Listen, bandwagon. Remember, that was Peter Ward days, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So
Yep,
that
yep,
was,
yep.
dude, I'm bandwagon. I'm trying to go down there and get some of that. Not to mention FAMU right across the tracks.
Yep. Yep. I get it.
I'm just saying.
I get it. I get it. So what was your career like at Alabama?
You know, the career was pretty interesting, man. I ended up starting my sophomore year because the guy in front of me got hurt. But I had a really good career, man. I didn't have a lot of All-American honors and All-SEC accolades. I was a person in high school that was really, I played offense and defense. So I got recruited more for offense than I did for defense. Alabama, Auburn, and Notre Dame recruited me for defense. Everybody else recruited me as an athlete.
Gotcha.
Tennessee wanted me to be a running back. They thought I was going to be, I think it was Sean Bryson, I think was his last name, that was the running back then. But hey, I'm 6'2". At this time, I'm 6'2", 180-ish. So as a coach, they're thinking like he probably can handle another 15 or 20 pounds.
Yep.
He's at that time, I'm running a 4.4.
Yep.
So they like, we can convert him to running back and probably have something, because I was a good running back in high school, man. But the coach, Bill Oliver, who since passed away earlier this year, he was the one that first talked to me about being a defensive back. And this guy coached Antonio Langham, George Teague, and all these other cats. I'm like, listen, if he's saying this is something here, maybe I ought to consider it. So I took the leap, not only going to college, I switched over and went primarily defense when I was really offensive minded. So I had to learn how to hit properly, how to, especially in the SEC at that time, because it was a run heavy, really conference outside of Tennessee, who had Peyton Manning my freshman year. Everybody else was kind of still running it, right? So, but no, my career was a good career. I got injured my junior year, separated my shoulder, so I had surgery right before my senior season. And that was tough coming back from. So I almost did not play my senior season because I was set to graduate early. And after going through the shoulder rehab, I didn't know if I really wanted to come back out. So it's really amazing that I did play my senior year, got to the Senior Bowl, get drafted second round in the 2001 draft, the Dallas Cowboys. All of that would not have happened had I not decided to come back my senior year.
Wow. Yeah, because that was my next question. Like, what was it like actually making it to the league? And was that a goal? Because you say you were primarily a student athlete first.
It was not a goal, Kelly, but it goes back to my humble beginnings, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see myself achieving that status.
Wow.
I had my own glass ceiling, right?
Mhm.
So even going to University of Alabama and starting, it was not computing to me that you were maybe good enough to play at the next level.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, had I not submitted my information to the clearinghouse, the clearinghouse at that time would give you a projection of where you might be drafted. I did that based on the advice of my coach then, Coach Harbison, Charlie Harbison, who we call Coach Cheese. He suggested, man, just submit it, just see what they come up with. And I submitted. They came back and said, "Hey, you're projected to go, day two." Day two at that time was fourth through seventh round.
Yep.
So I always joke people and say my first business decision was coming back to play my senior year because Kelly, with me, I'm first generation college student.
Yeah.
So all that was poured in me growing up was go to college, get your college degree, go and work from there. So in my mind, I was going to go get my degree at University of Alabama and probably was going to be working where my dad was working at that time at B.F. Goodrich, which was the tire manufacturer, a manufacturing plant there. So my thing was use your business degree, become a manager, maybe get up in, the senior ranks of management. And that was going to be a good life for me.
Wow.
Never did I even imagine these possibilities that football presented itself to.
Wow. Talk about that real quick. So say like if somebody's watching this, they from a small town, talk about how do they break through those limiting beliefs and even believing that it's possible. All things are possible with God. We're both believers. Like just even opening up the possibilities of what God can do. Can you speak to that for a minute?
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome because the challenge of it is a lot of the limiting beliefs became across because there were limited opportunities in the area. So those people that I was looking to for mentorship
Mm,
were not the type people that could actually pour into me those God-given visions, right? They were limiting. Like if I was the type, if I had said, like, man, NFL would be great, man. What makes you think you're gonna make it to NFL?
mm,
You from Reform, Alabama, man.
yeah.
That's not gonna happen. So I would say, and this is part of the reason why I wrote the book, is because I now know and understand that you can't be limited by your environment. And it's okay. I've been using the mantra dare to dream for years as I speak to kids. But recently, even with my foundation, Tony Dixon Foundation, I use the theme of breaking mental glass ceilings one dream at a time. And so I am a firm believer is that we cannot put limitations on our God.
Right.
We cannot. And what he has for you is really will surpass your wildest imagination and dream if you just believe and work at it. And that's what I'm seeing now. So my encouragement to the youth is while you're gonna have noise
Yep.
that enter into your mind, do not allow it to limit your ability to believe in what's possible. And there's nobody, in most cases, there's nobody that can tell you what is possible. Only thing you can do is just continue to work hard at it, be ready when the opportunity presents itself. And my biggest counsel now is enjoy the moments because that's what I did not do a good job of.
Mm,
While I was experiencing those success moments, I wasn't enjoying the small steps that were being taken, nor documenting it. Like I
mm,
don't even have a lot of pictures from those times because, from people that I met, I wouldn't ask them to take a picture with them. So now all I have is memories as long as my mind can sustain itself. But that's my counsel to people, like truly slow down enough to enjoy the present moment of what you're going through.
yeah, bro. That's so good. I like when you talked about in the book, which we're gonna talk about your pivot. But after your last pivot,
Yeah,
you talked about dropping your son off at camp and how you and your wife just went on that trip. And you said
that's
the
right.
other Tony would have never done nothing like that. Talk about
Never, never. And I would tell you the perfect way of answering that to that point is this version of Tony now understands that memories mean something,
mm,
right? Like busy is busy. Like just think about it. All of us can think about all the years we've had busy work, but how many times do you remember those details of that?
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if you think back on those memories, those moments that you had with your family,
Yeah.
you don't remember the day in, day out nuances of your day and the busyness and your job and all that. But what you do remember are those trips,
Yep.
that book you saw,
Yep.
that joke y'all laughed at in the car until somebody almost threw up. It's
Yeah.
those moments that you can't get back. And I really appreciate the fact that in that, had I not went on that trip and made that pivot, I wouldn't have saw that journal
Yeah.
that took me down the steps of gratitude to force me to think broader. It's easy to go 2 or 3 days and say what you're thankful for. Try to do that for 30 straight days
Yep.
without repeating the thing you said 30 days ago.
Yep.
When you are doing that, you really get down to the nitty gritty of how blessed you truly are,
Man.
regardless of what circumstance you're in at the moment.
Man. Yeah. I mean, you're so right. And like the older we get, like having my first grandson. My grandson's upstairs right now.
Yeah.
You can't put a price tag on that. Like nothing I've accomplished compares to him looking at me and smiling and saying "Papa,"
Come
and
on, man.
that like there's man, and like you said, I've experienced some amazing things, but
Yeah.
nothing compares to that.
I think the beauty of it is how simple life is.
Yep.
I think in some cases, because we put an ungodly amount of pressure on us to achieve what's a phantom level of success,
Yep.
not even realizing that that's what's fulfilling. It's like eating a food with no calories. It's like you're getting empty calories from all this work and effort that you're putting into it. But at the end of the day, what are you getting from it? Is it spiritual food or is it just something to be done? And I think that's where I am at now in life,
Yeah.
where I'm really trying to be intentional about what I'm involving myself with, who I'm spending my time with, and who's within my circle. Because I'm a firm believer, Kelly, that had this work not been done, you and I wouldn't have met.
I
Had this
agree.
work not been done, the message that's coming out of these pages
Yeah.
and the way it's being received would not have been handled that way. Because it's a difference between writing a book
Yep.
for the sake of writing it.
Hey, it's the publisher here, Mr. Kelly Cole. Listen, if you are a former professional athlete, if you are a former college athlete or sports coach, and you're looking to launch your speaking career, let me tell you, you need a book. If you're already out there speaking and you want to track more high paid speaking engagements, you need a book. It's not about creating more content to post on social media. It's not about recording a bunch of videos. It's not about doing more podcasts. The number one secret to attracting more high paid speaking engagements or even launching your speaking career is a book. Hey, I'm the publisher, Mr. Kelly Cole, and I help former athletes and sports coaches create best-selling books in 30 days to launch their speaking career, even if they hate writing and don't know where to start. So for the first time ever, I've created a free case study video that will not only show you how to write a book from scratch in as little as 30 days and become a best-selling author, it will also show you how to attract more high-paid speaking engagements. Now, to check out this free case study video, click the link that says learn more or go to booksforathletes.com. Real quick before you go, do not go if you're not a former athlete or sports coach, because you won't find any value in what I'm about to share. And don't go if your book is already out and already on Amazon. You won't find any value in what I share over there. But if you are a former athlete or sports coach, know that you need a book, or already out there speaking and you want to launch your speaking career, go check out that link now. Writing a book is not as hard as you think. It doesn't even matter if you don't know where to start. My case study video will show you how to start and get it done and onto the bestsellers list. So go now. Yep.
It's another reason when you know without a doubt that this was purpose driven and ordained.
Yep.
I know without a shadow of a doubt that this was purpose driven, ordained,
Yep.
and it's meant for something greater than I ever would have imagined, because I'm seeing it already.
You're perfectly fine. I'm not going to give away the book. I do want you to touch on like what you overcame, the perfectionism, and
Yes.
then they're gonna have to read the book. But yeah, do touch on that real quick.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of this goes back. I think in the book I talk about 6 defining moments, and I think this is what's amazing for reflection for anybody in their life. And I went through the work of going back to understand where did the roots, where did all these moments take root in my life?
Yeah,
From imposter syndrome to dimming my light to having limiting beliefs, having fear of success, you name it.
yeah,
Where did these come from? And so what we try to accomplish in the book is speaking these defining moments, putting a definition on what I, what I dealt with from going through those moments.
yeah.
That honestly, some of the stuff, well, just be plain and simple. One of the lines I say in the book, is for 40 years I've been aware.
Yep, you talk about that
and
a lot.
because we talk about 3 principles: awareness, acceptance, and alignment.
Yep,
And how many people go through this life aware of who they are, aware of what they've been through, but never accepted it for what it was?
yep,
So really in the book, really just trying to make or encourage those to do the self-reflection needed, to be aware of why you think the way you think, why you operate the way you operate, move the way you move, accept it. If it's good, lean into it. If it's saboteurs and bad,
yep.
do something about it. Change the course. Forgive yourself, forgive those, or do the work to overcome that so you can be aligned with your true purpose and impact and your purpose and passion. And at the essence, that's what the book is about. And going through that steps and whatever that looks like for you as the individual. But take my examples of vulnerability and just search yourself to understand, like, yeah, I can't really relate to you on this, Tony, but
Yeah,
I get it. Like, I remember having moments of someone saying something to me like that made me dim my light. I remember
yeah,
having moments of being embarrassed to where I said I'll never go through that embarrassment again. All these moments, when you go through and accept them, work toward them, then go through the alignment and the steps needed to find your true purpose. That's what it's all about, and that's what the book is about.
for sure, man. Talk about that pivot when the doctor told you, Tony, if you don't stop this, you gonna die.
Bruh, let me tell you. I think it's so amazing how in our community, but as men in general, sometimes we just don't take care of ourselves the way we should. Or when things start going a little better than they were before, we get a little complacent. And I was in that moment of complacency after having a health scare
Mhm.
that actually made me change my life, which was the first pivot.
Yep.
But I started going down that path and said, "Hey, I'm doing so much good over here. I'm doing 95% good, but this 5%, I'm not giving up. I'm
Yeah.
not giving up this 5%. But that 5% almost killed me,
Mm.
right?
That,
And
that'll
so
kill
that
you.
that 5% was that I didn't want to let go of. That I said, I'm doing so good over here. This will be all right. Landing me right back in the hospital with that doctor saying, "Hey, if you don't stop this,
Yep.
it's gonna kill you."
Yep.
And that was when the true pivot really took hold. And I finally said, Tony, is it worth your life?
Come on.
Is it worth your life? Like, and that's when I went down the path of, and I framed it in the book saying a living spree.
Yep. Yep.
That's when I started going on a living spree. And this living spree is exactly what you and I spoke about earlier. It's being present in a moment, reflecting on what's awesome, and appreciating the journey, realizing that success is not a destination, it's a journey.
That's so good, man. So good, so good. Yeah, they gonna have to get the book, man. This we can do this forever. Just a couple more questions. First question: when you first saw that the book was like #1 pre-sale, after like when you called me, it's like, bro, I was like, bro, don't even worry about it. You do it. What was it like when you saw that thing at the top of that list at #1?
Man, it was pretty amazing. I think the part I didn't tell you is it was ahead of the book about Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Wow.
And so I think the full circle moment to that is that I played against Tom, obviously, in the pros. Tom was drafted in 2000. I was drafted in 2001. So I've always joked about the fact that this guy, while I'm in corporate America, is still playing. So how do I look to my sons when he at 40 is still playing, and my folks looking at you like, wow, daddy, why you not still playing? So I think the joy of it is whether you think he's the GOAT or not, he's a guy that actually surpassed time, 7 championships, awesome. So to just see it there was amazing. But I think the other piece to it is limiting beliefs. Like I'm still a daily work in progress. That's why it's beyond the glass, but not around the glass.
Yeah.
So I still on a daily basis have to wake up and deal with imposter syndromes, limiting beliefs, my own mental glass ceilings and restrictor plate thinking. So to see that in that moment,
Yeah.
I tell you what it did for me. And you can put this to the bank and you're going to hear this more and more if you see me anywhere. This moment to me was bigger than my draft day.
Wow.
And it was bigger than draft day because on draft day, I was thinking about all the things that was going to come with it. I dealt with anxiety. I had the stresses of now being drafted in a second round. Am I going to show up? Am I going to be that person? But when I saw that number 1 hit, in that moment, I sat and enjoyed it. And I allowed my family to celebrate me with it. I allow friends to join in the celebration. And for that, man, I'm forever grateful.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, last question, bro. What was it like working with us, and would you recommend other athletes work with us to get their book done?
Hey man, yeah, it was awesome working with you all. I mean, every question that I had was you was attentive, and and while I never was questioning, your talent, your skills, integrity, obviously I was throwing some whirlies at you, man. But I will tell you, working with Books for Athlete was well worth the time, well worth the collaboration. And I would definitely encourage you to get this done. What I found through this process is, if nothing else, like doing it on your own is great, but when you have people that have their own gifts and you can connect with them, it can allow your story to be far greater than you ever thought it was. And I think that's what my takeaway is. It's like all of us have selfish ambitions, but what this taught me is the power of community. And this was part of the community and working with Books for Athletes.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much for saying that, because most people miss that spiritual aspect of it. It's like, what does the word say? I don't want to mess this up. About like one can send 1,000 to flight, but two can send 10,000 to flight.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you can only accomplish so much by yourself.
Yeah.
Which is, because I've been down the path. I was like,
That's right.
bro, you good?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And in Ephesians, they talk about 2 can accomplish twice as much as 1, and the results can be much greater. When one falls, the other picks them up.
That's it.
And that to me is what this is about. And just drop your pride, reduce the ego,
Yep.
and just go do what God has for you. And guess what? There's people that's gifted to do what you need them to do to help your gift come to life. And this is what this experience was for me.
100%. And this just the beginning. Like, bro, we ain't even scratched the surface on the work we're going to do together. But just glad we're past this first step. The first step is the book, man. Now
right.
it's just more people to impact, more people to help. So thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Remarks, anything on your heart you want to leave the people with?
Hey, man, hey, if you haven't purchased it yet, you can, definitely check it out. Beyond the Glass, Tony Dixon. You can also go to my website, tonydixon.com, and get more information on booking and everything. But what I would tell you more than anything, you are uniquely qualified for more than you realize. Everything that you've been through, every path, every step, every detour that you've taken has made you and your testimony that much more important. So don't miss the opportunity to write your legacy instead of allowing other people to talk your legacy.
Powerful, bro. Close it out no better than that, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
Listen, thanks so much for checking out this episode of the Books for Athletes podcast. Do me a favor, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode. We want to help more athletes tell their story. We want to help more athletes get their story out. So if you could support this podcast, all I need you to do is like, comment, share, and please subscribe to my channel so we can grow on YouTube and start monetizing this channel. All right. If you prefer to listen, we're on all podcast listening platforms as well. Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. Wherever you are, please like, subscribe, comment, and please share this episode with someone. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler Campbell, and I am the author of The Ball Came Out, Life on the Other Side of the Field, brought to you by none other than the Publishing Advantage Group, Kelly Cole, and the entire team. Let me tell y'all something about them. Listen, they are there to help you. They really want to see you win. They want to help you get that message out. And collectively, as a team, you never feel like you're alone. There's no such thing as a bad question. They know the industry so well that they help you convey the message that will feed the masses of individuals that you come across. My book is #2 new release book on Amazon already, and it's already an Amazon bestseller. All right, hadn't even been a full week yet. All right, these individuals know what they know about the industry, and they share it with you, right? And they only want to see you win. You're handled with care. Make your book a bestseller today and go with the Publishing Advantage Group. They want nothing but the best for you.